everyone. Welcome to this MeetingsNet Fast Chat. I'm Sue Hatch, Content Director for MeetingsNet, and joining me today is Lynette Myers, CMP, a true veteran of the convention services world. Lynette is Executive Director for Catering, Conventions, and Events at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Welcome, Lynette. Thank you for joining us. And I know you have a lot of information to share about how planners and convention services can work together, but let's start with you. Tell me something about your job at Caesars Palace. How long have you been in the role, and what do you do?
Well, on a day-to-day basis, my role is to lead an incredible team of professionals, cultivate relationships with our clients, their accounts, and operate high-profile conventions. I've been in the business for about 32 years, with Caesars Entertainment, 22. This is the flagship hotel for Las Vegas and Caesars Entertainment. I'm one of two executive directors that are female in the company. And I truly relish the fact that we're able to have this opportunity to chat, just because I think this business is so innovative and constantly changing, and especially after the pandemic. So this is a good opportunity just to chat.
Great. Well, tell me about a typical day.
So there really is no typical day in this business. That's why I enjoy it. We have so many different opportunities where we work with different meeting planners, and we are challenged to execute that vision. For the meeting planner, we have 300,000 square feet of meeting space, a 5-acre Garden of the Gods, pools that we do many custom events at, because obviously with our weather, a lot of our conventions like to do things outdoors, especially if they've been in the convention space all day. Our CSMs, Catering Convention Service Managers, are very accustomed to providing the VIP experience with our planner, so that we can be the liaison for the client and the hotel. The Catering Convention Service Managers enjoy the opportunities to create an event with out-of-the-box thinking, menus, decor, and entertainment. We like to contribute to a memory.
Okay, well, let's talk more about that partnership between planners and convention services. I mean, what would you like to tell meeting professionals about how best to work with their CSM to make sure they're going to get a strong partnership and a successful program?
I think the focus has to be an inclusive process and very collaborative from the beginning. We encourage site inspections, pre-planning visits, a consultative approach with the planner. We also like to have conversations. I mean, I think in this day and age, too many people fall upon the emails and things like that. And I think that is a detriment in many ways, because it doesn't allow for relationships and some rapport to occur. The CSMs have many years of experience and are really the best resource to assist with the process. One thing that Caesars Entertainment has is a very distinctive aspect with our sales contract. We have one contact, one food and beverage minimum. So if you have an event at one of our sister properties and your contract happens to be with Caesars Palace, you can utilize that spend at that other venue and have it be credited towards your Caesars Palace food and beverage minimum. So essentially, it's a Caesars Entertainment food and beverage minimum. It allows for a lot more variety. The customers can look at, having a elegant dinner over at the Paris with the beautiful chandeliers in the champagne ballroom. So allows for a lot more flexibility.
That's unique. Let's stick with the F&B theme, and can you talk about the role of convention services in the menu development piece of the meeting planning process?
Well, I think that, after the pandemic, it's been a little challenging. I mean, food prices are notoriously high right now. The Catering Convention Service Manager can help with streamlining the thought process, with looking out for, with the chef, if needed, the best options to fit their menu needs. Obviously, the convention perhaps has a theme that CSM can hone in on what that theme is, what the purpose of this special food and beverage is. It networking? Is it a gala? What is it that we need to gear the menu toward? And of course, we're always accustomed to out of the box thinking. I mean, we do events where we had an example. I'll use an example where we had a group that needed an 80s menu, and I had no idea what an 80s menu. So obviously we consult with the chef, or we have a really good relationship, of course, with the operations teams, and we can come up with something to execute something in a really fabulous manner.
Another hot topic around food and beverage is allergies and special diet requests. They've become very important to attendee satisfaction at an event. And so how do you get involved with that?
Well, we've done custom menus. And of course, if a group is, very vegetarian, vegan, or there's a strong attendee count of gluten-free, we create menus that can accommodate those needs. I mean, it's all about making sure that we take care of the attendees. These days, we do get many dietary restrictions. So, for example, if there is a large lunch for thousands of people, the CSM is trained. They know that of those people, there has to be some people that are kosher or gluten-free or allergic to nuts or things like that. So we label all our buffets. We make sure that any food notes are listed right in front of the menu item so that there's no question. Plus, it's better for the guests so that the client doesn't have to, the customer, the attendee doesn't have to wait for their special food item. For example, if they're gluten-free and we're preparing something special for them, then we're prepared and there's no waiting and the chef knows and they have it pretty much in the back of the house so that the server will easily bring that out for that guest to enjoy.
Any other thoughts you have on this key relationship between the meeting professional and convention service managers to make it work in a really productive way?
Well, transparency is really important. We want to drill down and understand what the vision of the planner is. What is the goal? It's a lot of trying to get to the same vision and asking the questions. This is a top priority for myself and the team. We want to provide excellent service, making the convention a very positive, memorable experience. Honestly, we have many repeat clients that have been with Caesars Entertainment for decades. I personally, know of a few. I was a CSM way back in the day, and I still have my clients call me up and, say I'm coming to the property and want to say hello. So with that many, repeat clients, and we just build strong, lasting relationships. That's what we believe in. I mean, that is what drives us. That is what makes meetings a success for us. We genuinely want to take care of the client and have a great experience. That's how people come back.
Thank you, Lynette. Great information. I appreciate you joining us today for this fast chat. Again, Lynette Myers, CMP, is Executive Director for Catering, Convention Services, and Events at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.